Have you ever thought about why we can't always find happiness? People usually think that they will be happy when their lives are great and everything goes the way they want it to. But according to Stoic philosophy, is there a way to stay happy no matter what? Dependence on something or someone leads to suffering, but accepting everything and everyone as they are at all times and in all situations is the only way to be happy. To do this, we have to stop judging and resisting others, stop complaining and blaming, stop criticizing and controlling, and stop competing with everyone. When we can accept and love without demanding change from those around us, we can stop looking for happiness in other people and find an endless source of happiness that always exists within ourselves. Are you ready to learn more about how to stay happy, no matter how hard life may be? Let's look at the principles of Stoicism and learn how to apply them to our daily lives so that we can live happily, strongly, and peacefully in every situation. Number 1. Figure out what really matters. To find out what's important, imagine that you are on your deathbed and think about your life. This gives you clarity and shows you that happiness, love, and peace are the most important things in the world. When we become aware of this, we can let go of small irritations, treat others with love and respect, and avoid fights that aren't necessary. Happiness can run through our lives as long as we appreciate what we have and don't stress over the little things. One of the most famous Stoic thinkers, Marcus Aurelius, said that to live a happy life, all you need is to change the way you think. This quote reminds us that time is our most valuable asset. When we understand that life is short, small things like daily frustrations, pointless arguments, or comparing ourselves to others lose their importance, and we can focus on what really matters. Starts with asking ourselves basic questions. What makes me happy and love life? What relationships make me feel loved and cared for? These questions help us get rid of things that aren't important and focus on things that are, like love, thanks, and peace. For example, the Stoic philosopher Epictetus lived a hard life but kept his inner peace. Even though he was a slave, he never let his circumstances control his mind or spirit. He always stressed that what matters is how we react to what happens to us, not what happens to us. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters, he said. By focusing on what really matters, we can live a more meaningful and happy life. This doesn't mean that we have to give up all our ambitions and goals, but we need to make sure they don't get in the way of our core values. Here's an interactive question for you to think about. If you only had one day to live, what would you do to feel the happiest and most fulfilled? This question isn't just a way to think. It's also a reminder that we should live each day as if it were our last, focusing on what's important and meaningful. Looking back, figuring out what's important not only keeps us from stressing out over small things, but it also brings us lasting peace and happiness by living in the present, valuing meaningful relationships, and staying true to our core values. Even though we can't change what happens in our lives, we can change how we think about and respond to it. That's the key to being truly happy no matter what. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of daily tasks, societal expectations, and the never-ending stream of knowledge in the world we live in. Still, it's important to find clarity and focus on what really counts in life, even when there's a lot going on. This concept, which comes from Stoic thought, tells us to get rid of the things that aren't important and focus on what is. Finding out what's important to us makes our actions more in line with our views, which leads to a more purposeful and fulfilling life. Think about what you believe in. Take the time to figure out what your core ideals are. These are the rules that help you make choices and act in a certain way. By thinking about what you care about most, you can see what's important and use that to guide your actions. Tell the difference between important and urgent. Not all the things that want your attention are important. Learn how to tell the difference between important and urgent things. Do the things and make the choices that are in line with your long-term goals and values first, not the ones that seem important at the time. Make your life easier. Focusing on what's most important helps you simplify. Get rid of responsibilities and distractions that don't help you live up to your core values. Getting rid of real clutter, cutting down on digital distractions, and being picky about how you spend your time are all ways to do this. Being mindful is important. Being mindful helps you stay in the present and be aware of your feelings and thoughts. Being aware can help you see when you are drifting away from what's important and gently bring you back. It also helps you make choices that are in line with your ideals. Look for meaning and purpose. Do things and connect with people that give you a sense of purpose and meaning. This means following your interests, making a difference in the world, and making friends who make your life better. When you have a reason for doing something, you naturally pay attention to what's important. Adding these habits to your routine can help you get a better sense of what's important to you. This clarity not only helps you make better decisions, but it also makes you feel more satisfied and fulfilled. Number 2. Do not make comparisons. No one owns everything in the world, and that includes you. Constantly comparing yourself to others makes you unhappy and unable to appreciate what you have. If we stop comparing ourselves to others and instead find happiness in our own possessions and accomplishments, we will raise our happiness index. In Stoic philosophy, Epictetus said that wealth is not having many things, but having few wants. This quote tells us to know our own values and not let other people's wins or failures affect our happiness and sense of self-worth. An example is the story of my friend James, a young, smart business owner. James always felt bad about himself because he constantly compared himself to other successful entrepreneurs. When he saw them accomplishing great things, he felt pressured and blamed himself for not being able to do the same. These pointless comparisons took away James's enjoyment from his work and daily life. But when he started to apply Stoic philosophy, he realized that other people's success did not mean his own failure. He started to focus on what he had already accomplished and set goals that were in line with his skills and values. As a result, James felt happier and more confident, and his work progressed more quickly. Self-reflection helps us figure out what our real values are and not let outside standards control how we feel and what we do. Stoic philosophy has a key idea called amor fati, which literally means love of fate. This idea tells us to accept and love all of life's parts, even the hard ones. When we really love our fate, we stop comparing ourselves to others and instead focus on doing the best we can in the situations we're in. Even though he faced many problems and difficulties, Jesus never wavered in his faith and love for humanity. He also never compared himself to others, but always worked hard to complete his mission. Avoiding comparisons not only makes us happier, but it also helps us live a meaningful and free life. When we stop comparing, we open ourselves up to opportunities to grow and develop in our own unique way. Avoiding comparisons with others is a key step to finding happiness and peace in life. Appreciate and be grateful for what you have, focus on your own values and goals, and remember that true happiness comes from within, not from outside comparisons. We can't wait to hear what you have to say. Have you ever been unhappy? How can you avoid the comparison mistake when comparing yourself to others and still find joy in life? Share your stories and thoughts in the comments below, and let's learn from each other as we use Stoic philosophy to find happiness and peace. In a world where everyone is always connected and on social media, it's easy to compare ourselves to others. Whether it's about a person's job, their possessions, or a personal milestone, comparisons can make them feel inadequate, envious, and unhappy. Stoic philosophy tells us to focus on our own path and be happy with our own lives, no matter what other people do or don't do. Let's stop comparing things in order to find inner peace, self-worth, and real happiness. Know your own way. Know that everyone's trip is different, with a range of challenges, chances, and schedules. Your road is not similar to someone else's. It is not comparable. It does not make sense. Don't compare yourself to other people. Instead, focus on your own progress and growth. Recognize what you've done well. Don't forget to celebrate your own wins, no matter how small they may seem. Think about how far you've come and the problems you've solved. When you recognize your wins, you boost your self-esteem and reduce the need to compare yourself to others to feel good about yourself. Practice being thankful. Being grateful helps you stop thinking about what you don't have and start thinking about what you do have. Regularly tell yourself of the good things in your life, like your health, the people who care about you, and the things you've accomplished. This way of thinking makes you happier and less likely to compare yourself to others. Limit your time spent on social media. People's lives on social media are often shown in a controlled and idealized way, which can make people feel like they're not good enough. Spend less time on social networks and pay attention to how they make you feel about your own self-worth. Keep in mind that what you see online isn't always a true reflection of what's going on in the world. Accept the things that make you unique. Know what makes you different and be proud of it. Honor your skills, interests, and strengths. You can boost your self-esteem and reduce the urge to compare yourself to others by recognizing what makes you unique. Accepting what makes you different also lets you make a difference in the world in ways that no one else can. Stopping yourself from making comparisons is an exercise that needs self-awareness and purpose. You can find inner peace and happiness without having to constantly compare yourself to others if you focus on your own journey, celebrate your successes, practice gratitude, limit your time spent on social media, and embrace what makes you special. Number 3, live in present. As a result of the way we usually think, many of us are still unhappy. Looking into the future or dwelling on the past only leads to stress and unhappiness. Changing our focus to the present will make things better by letting go of the things we can't change in the past and focusing on what we can. By doing this, we can create a better future through our actions today, and loving each day as if it were our last, we will avoid regrets over missed chances and unrealistic expectations. Stoic philosophy is based on the idea that you should live in the moment. This is not just good advice. Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca Epictetus stressed how important it was to live in the present. They thought that we could only find true peace and happiness in everyday life if we focused on the present. But it can be hard to live in the present because we are often worried about work, money, relationships, and plans that we haven't finished. We are also plagued by mistakes, missed chances, and unfulfilled demands from the past. However, the key to freeing ourselves from these burdens is to focus on the present. For example, let's say you're sitting in a park in the afternoon with birds singing, soft breeze blowing through your hair, and soft sunlight filtering through the tree leaves. You can choose to enjoy this moment and feel the peace and small but precious joy that it brings. Or you can let your mind wander and worry about tomorrow's meeting or the fight you had with a friend yesterday. It's clear that one state brings peace and happiness, while the other only brings anxiety and dissatisfaction. Religion is another important part of living in the present. Many people find comfort and direction in their faith in God. In many religions, living in the present is also supported and seen as a way to connect more deeply with one's faith. In his teachings, Jesus said, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." This reminds us that worrying about the future is pointless and that we should focus on the present, on our actions and thoughts right now. In today's world, where life is fast-paced and full of information, living in the present is even more important. Not only does pausing to take a deep breath and enjoy the present moment help us feel less stressed, it also makes our mental and physical health better. Mindfulness and meditation are two ways to practice being in the present. Being mindful helps us notice and accept all of our feelings and thoughts without judging them. This not only makes you feel less anxious, but it also helps you concentrate and be creative. Also, meditation is a strong tool that can help us calm down and connect with ourselves and the world around us more fully. Living in the present requires daily work and awareness. If we can appreciate and enjoy what we have now, let go of the past and stop worrying about the future, we can live a more peaceful and happy life. As Marcus Aurelius said, "Life is neither good nor evil. It is just a place where good and evil can happen." Faith in God can give us extra strength and direction to live a meaningful and fulfilling life. A powerful and life-changing practice that is in line with Stoic ideas is living in the present moment. Being fully present in the present moment means not dwelling on the past or thinking about the future. Keeping our attention on the present can help us feel calm, clear, and strong. Being mindful of this practice helps us enjoy every moment, notice the beauty around us, and deal with life's difficulties in a calm and steady way. Being aware and mindful, paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, and surroundings without judging them, is a form of awareness. To stay in the present, do things like deep breathing, meditation, or just noticing what's going on around you. When you notice that your mind is wandering, gently bring it back to the present moment. Get rid of the past. Know that you can't change the past, and that thinking about it too much can keep you from fully enjoying the present. You should learn from the past, but you shouldn't let it control how you feel and what you do now. To let go of any anger or sorrow that you may still have, practice forgiving others and yourself. Let go of your worries about the future. Know that thinking about the future doesn't help and can cause you stress and anxiety that you don't need. Pay attention to the things you can change in the present and plan for the future without dwelling on it too much. Accept that you don't know what will happen and have faith that you can handle it. Fully participate in what you're doing now. Do what you're doing with all your heart, whether it's work, a hobby, or spending time with people you care about. Do not try to do more than one thing at once, as this can split your attention and make your experiences less satisfying. You can find happiness and satisfaction in even the smallest jobs if you give them your full attention and work. Grow your gratitude. Take time every day to think about the good things in your life and be thankful for them. Don't forget to write down the things you're thankful for every day. Keep a gratitude book. When you're grateful, you stop thinking about what you don't have and start focusing on what you do have. This makes you feel better overall. Making these habits a part of your daily life can help you connect with the present moment more deeply and feel more peace, happiness, and satisfaction. Number 4, value relationships that matter. People in our lives have meaningful relationships, like friends, married partners, or someone special. But most of us don't value these relationships until we lose them. If we want to be truly joyful and happy, we should always cherish all our precious relationships. This simple act will motivate us and make sure that we always have someone by our side in times of joy and sorrow. As Stoics, we know that life is full of challenges and sufferings, but meaningful relationships are the guiding lights and sources of strength that help us get through them. Stoic thought stresses how important it is to value and nurture real deep relationships, because that's the only way to find true peace and happiness. Big toe. A well-known Stoic philosopher once said that things don't bother people, it's how they think about them. Similarly, loving and meaningful relationships, not things or social success, are what bring us lasting joy and happiness. When we value and invest in these relationships, we not only build a strong support network, but we also feel a deep connection and love from those around us. Jesus taught that we should love our neighbor as ourselves. This is not just good moral advice, it's a valuable life principle. When we love and cherish those around us, we bring them happiness and we bring ourselves happiness. A connected and loving community is a strong foundation that helps us get through all problems. To truly value and nurture meaningful relationships, we need to put in time and effort into building and maintaining them. This means we have to listen, share our joys and sorrows, and always be ready to support each other when we need to. Friendship and love don't just happen, they are the result of hard work from both sides. Being sincere, respectful, and empathetic is important in a relationship. We shouldn't just focus on receiving, but also learn how to give, share, and sacrifice. When we truly care about and appreciate others, they will do the same for us. We also need to learn how to forgive and accept their flaws, because no one is perfect, and we all make mistakes. Instead of criticizing or judging them, we should try to understand and empathize with them. Finally, remember that a lasting relationship isn't one without conflicts, but one where they are resolved in a positive and constructive way. Say thank you for life. Every friend and loved one in our lives is a valuable gift that life has given us. Be thankful for these gifts and treasure them because they bring us endless happiness and joy. We often feel overwhelmed by all the links we have, so it's important to find and care for the ones that really matter. These important relationships give us support, happiness, and a feeling that we belong. Putting value and time into these interactions can make our health and happiness in life much better. Focusing on quality over quantity will help us build a strong network of real ties that will last through tough times. Find your core relationships. Honor the people who are always there for you and offer support, guidance, and real care. Usually these are family members, close friends, or teachers who have made a big difference in your life for the better. Spend time and energy on it. Spend time and effort on these ties to keep them strong. Check in with each other often, spend valuable time together, and be there for each other through good and bad times. Work hard over time improves relationships and builds trust. Talk to each other honestly and openly. Push for honest and open conversation. Talk about your feelings, thoughts, and experiences, and really listen to what other people have to say. Clear communication helps settle disagreements, builds trust, and makes relationships stronger. Show your thanks and appreciation. Regularly tell the people in your life how much you appreciate and thank them. Thank them for their hard work, kindness, and the good things they do for you. Simple expressions of thanks can make your relationships a lot better. Quality should come before quantity. Pay attention to the quality of your contacts instead of the number of them. A few deep, meaningful connections are worth a lot more than a lot of shallow ones. Spend your money on people who truly care about you and make your life better. We can build a network of supportive and enriching relationships that improves our mental and emotional health by putting them first and valuing the ones that matter. Number 5. Look for support and connection. You're not by yourself. Stoicism, with all its calm and strength, always tells people to connect with and get help from others. Even if they think they are strong and independent, there are times when they need to be open and ask for help from those around them. This not only helps them get through hard times, but it also makes their lives better. Being able to rely on friends, family or co-workers to listen without passing judgment and share their useful experiences is very important. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you while you live, while it is in your power to be good." It is these real connections, these honest relationships, that help us live fully and meaningfully. Imagine a successful businessman named Alex living in New York today. Alex is smart, always calm and determined, but life isn't always easy. One of the hardest things that happened to him was the death of his mother. Even though Alex knew that everything is temporary, the pain of loss was still there. At that moment, Alex remembered what his mentor, a famous psychologist, had told him. It's not what happens to you that defines who you are, it's how you react to it. Alex decided to reach out to close friends and family who had been through similar pain. He started going to gatherings where he could talk about his feelings and get support from those around him. This connection and support helped Alex get through the hard times, find peace and move on with his life with newfound hope. It seems obvious that talking about our feelings helps us deal with our problems, but sometimes we need more than just being honest about our feelings. We need practical solutions to keep growing. Alex realized that support is more than just sharing our feelings. It also includes getting useful advice and specific ways to get through tough times. No matter which choice you make, know that you are the best person to help you. Take care of it. Alex realized that no one can get through life's problems on their own. Seeking connection and support from others not only makes us feel less lonely, but it also makes us stronger and more resilient in our life journey. With the help of his friends, Alex found joy and happiness again, no matter what happened. Seeking connection and support is not only good advice, it's also a practical way to keep your peace and happiness in life. Remember that you are not alone on this journey. There are many people ready to listen, share, and help you get through any problems. Connecting with others and getting help are like threads that run deep through the complex weave of human life. These things are very important to our emotional health, perseverance, and happiness in general. To find connection and support, it's not enough to just make more friends. You need to build important relationships that give you comfort, direction, and a sense of belonging. In a world where individualism rules, understanding how important these ties are can make your life more satisfying and well-balanced. Get to know how important relationships are. It's been said that relationships give us mental support, practical help, and chances to grow. They make our lives better by giving us new ideas, adventures, and support for each other. Application. Think about the important ties in your life and how they affect your health. Make an effort to keep these ties alive on a regular basis. Develop empathy and the ability to listen actively. To build strong, helpful relationships, you need to show empathy and actively listen. They help us connect with others more deeply and show that we really care about them. Use. When you're talking to people, practice careful listening. Validate other people's feelings and be there for them when they need it to show understanding. Ask for and give help when you need it. It's easier to deal with the problems we face in life when we have people to help us. Asking for help when you need it and helping others when they need it builds relationships and resiliency. Application. If you are having a hard time, don't be afraid to ask for help. In the same way, pay attention and give help to those around you. do things and have interests that you share. Activities and hobbies that people share can help them connect with each other and find common ground. They bring people together and give them a sense of purpose. Use. Write down the things you like to do or skills you have. Then look for groups or people who share those interests. Regularly interact with them to strengthen those relationships. Communication should happen regularly. To keep bonds strong, it's important to talk to each other regularly. It's helpful to keep in touch, share experiences, and offer ongoing support. Tip: make it a habit to regularly check in with family and friends. To keep the relationships going, talk to each other in different ways, like through calls, texts, or face-to-face meetings. We can build a network of relationships that will help us through life's ups and downs if we understand how important connection and support are and work to keep them in our lives. These connections not only make us happier and healthier, but they also make our communities happier and stronger. Number 6. Eliminate procrastination. It's easy to get caught up in the vortex of procrastination, putting off tasks we don't want to do. Putting off tasks we don't want to do can lead to mental exhaustion, low energy, and too much stress, all of which can make us unhappy. Stoic philosophy can teach us how to face and overcome procrastination so that we can stay happy no matter what. Putting things off is the enemy of peace and joy. People who put off doing boring or hard things often don't understand that this makes them more stressed and anxious. We create a mental burden that is always there in our thoughts when we put things off, which drains our energy and makes us feel tired and sluggish instead of avoiding them. It's important to deal with these necessary duties head-on. Doing these things will simply make you happier and less stressed. Let's look at the story of Anna, an office worker who was always worried about turning in her monthly report on time. She often put it off until the last minute, which made her nights sleepless and her days at work stressed. Anna chose one day to apply the Stoic philosophy to her life. She didn't think about it for long before she started working on the report as soon as she got the task. Every day, she spent a little time finishing small parts of the report. Anna's work was finished on time, and she also felt relaxed and happy when she realized that acting right away had helped her get away from the vicious. There is a cycle of worry and putting things off. Stoic philosophy tells us to accept fate, but also to change what we can change. By not putting things off, we take control of our lives and create a positive and stable mental state. Procrastination isn't just a way to avoid doing work. It's also one of the main reasons people are unhappy and stressed out in life. Stoic philosophy gives us a new way of looking at things by telling us to face our responsibilities head-on, as Anna did. Using this philosophy can help us lower our stress and naturally find happiness in this unstable and difficult world. Quitting procrastination not only helps us finish our work, but it also brings peace and joy to our daily lives. Acting instead of procrastinating is not only a smart move, but it's also a sign of courage and wisdom. By facing our fears, we not only strengthen ourselves, but it also creates a life full of energy and meaning. Stoic thought can help us live a full and meaningful life by getting rid of procrastination. People often have trouble with procrastination, which can affect many areas of their lives. It can make people less productive, slow down progress, and cause stress that isn't necessary. To stop putting things off, you need to know where it comes from and use effective methods to fight it. You can stop putting things off and get your work done faster if you develop disciplined habits and a proactive attitude. Figure out the cause. Understand triggers. Figure out what makes you put things off. It could be a lack of interest, fear of failing, or the need to be perfect. Reflecting on yourself. Think about why you put things off. Figuring out the root cause can help you deal with it right away. Make your priorities and goals clear. SMART goals. Make goals that are clear, measurable, attainable, relevant, and have a due date. Clear aims show you where to go and what to do. Setting priorities. Sort jobs by how important and urgent they are. Focus on the most important jobs first to feel like you've accomplished something and keep going. Split up big tasks into smaller ones. Chunking. Break up big jobs. Seem less scary and makes it easier to begin. In steps, focus on taking one small step at a time to make progress. Each step that is finished boosts confidence and makes you less likely to put things off. Set up a place where people can work. Minimize distractions. Get rid of or cut down on things that might distract you at work. This could mean turning off alerts, cleaning up your desk, or finding a place to work that is quiet. Useful tools and methods. To keep yourself on track, use time management tools like the Pomodoro technique and to-do lists, as well as schedules. Set up rewards and accountability partners. Tell someone your goals so they can help you stick to them. Checking in with yourself often can keep you on track. Set up a prize system to see how well people do with their work. They can be small treats or breaks that make you look forward to something. Stopping yourself from putting things off is an ongoing process that needs self-awareness, setting goals, and discipline. By figuring out why you put things off and using realistic solutions to stop yourself, you can be more productive and reach your goals more quickly. You can turn putting things off into taking action if you are dedicated and persistent. Number 7. Learn to say no. Being able to say no is an important skill in a world full of endless requests and chances. A lot of people have trouble with this simple 2-letter word because they're afraid they'll let other people down or miss out on chances. But learning to say no is more than just turning down requests. It also means setting limits, putting your own health and happiness first, and living a life that is in line with your values and goals. This lesson will talk about why saying no is important and give you some tips to help you get better at it. Know what's most important to you. You need to know what's most important to you before you can clearly say no. It helps to make choices that are in line with your goals and ideals when you know what's most important to you. Make a list of your most important goals and use it as a guide when you get requests or chances. Protect yourself. To protect your time and energy, you need to set clear limits. Tell people what your limits are and then stick to them. Remember that setting limits is a sign of self-respect and a way to make sure you can do your best for the things that really matter. Get used to saying no in a polite but firm way. You don't have to be mean or nasty to say no. Learn how to say no to requests in a nice but firm way, like, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I can't commit to this right now," or even, "I appreciate the offer, but I need to focus on my current responsibilities." Don't explain too much. When you say no, be short and straight to the point. Giving too many details or explaining things too much can make your case weaker and make it easier to negotiate. A clear and easy no works best most of the time. Think about what will happen if you say yes. Think about how something might affect your time, energy, and finances before you agree to it. Before you say yes, think about whether it fits with your goals and whether you can handle taking on more responsibilities. It's very important to say no if the answer is no. Saying no is a strong skill that gives you control over your life and helps you focus on what's important. You can learn to say no by knowing your goals, setting limits, practicing polite but firm refusals, not giving too many reasons, and thinking about what will happen if you say yes. Remember that when you say no to something that doesn't help you reach your goals, you are actually saying yes to your own success and well-being. It's not good for our happiness to say yes to everything. If we want to be happy in the long term, we need to learn to say no to things that don't matter to us. This simple action keeps us from having problems we don't need and helps us stay happy. Learning to say no is not only an important skill, but also a core belief in the Stoic philosophy. The philosophy tells us to take charge of our lives, focus on what we can control, and let go of what we can't. Saying no is a concrete example of this philosophy that helps us stay positive and move toward a peaceful and satisfying life. Write down our goals and values. When we know what's most important, it's easier to say no to requests that aren't right for us. People and things around us often put pressure on us to say yes to everything, from personal relationships to work and social activities. But saying yes to everything can make us tired, stressed, and throw off our life's balance. To keep our minds calm, we need to learn to focus on what's important and say no to things that don't. Big toe. One of the great Stoic thinkers said that the only way to be happy is to stop worrying about things that we can't change. Telling people no is part of being in charge. The male employee named Jack is young and driven. He works in advertising and is always eager to do well and get praise from others. Jack often says yes to extra work and new projects because he's afraid of missing out on opportunities or being judged negatively. But after a while, he starts to feel tired and worn out. He no longer has time for himself, his family, or his friends. Even though he accomplishes a lot at work, he isn't happy. One day, Jack decides to take a course on Stoic philosophy. There, he learns that happiness doesn't come from other people's approval or from achieving a lot of things. It comes from having peace and balance in life. He starts to apply this philosophy to his life by saying no to unnecessary demands and only taking on work that is truly meaningful and in line with his values. As a result, Jack feels better, has more time for other important things in his life, and regains his joy and satisfaction. Saying no to unimportant things is an act of self-respect and sticking to our values. When we turn down things that aren't important, we make room for things that are. This not only helps us stay happy, but it also gives our lives purpose and meaning. Saying no is a skill that can be learned over time. It takes courage to stand firm against social pressure and stick to our beliefs. Remember that every time you say no to something unimportant, you're saying yes to true peace and happiness. Stoic thought says we need to take charge of our lives, and one important way to do that is to learn how to say no. Thank you for watching today's movie on how to use Stoic philosophy to stay happy no matter what. Hopefully, these ideas have given you some new and useful stuff to think about before we end. Pick one of the choices below to tell us what you think of this video. 1 is very unhappy and 2 are not happy. Normal, 3, 4, happiness, 5 people, very happy. Please vote in the comments below. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any more. Also, don't miss the other videos shown at the end of this video. Thank you, and see you in the next videos.